Goodness.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. Again, I want to remind you if you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. For those of you, this conversation is well needed, right? Because when I tell you we need peace, we need harmony, sometimes we forget to meditate. So let me tell you how I got this to come along. For those of you, you guys know I'm into crystals, I'm into meditating, anything that's positive, I'm all about. So we have when I tell y'all I'm so happy, we have the one and only Venerable Tree Do. Venerable Tree Do. Am I saying it Do or is it Dow?
It's Dao.
Okay. Venerable. See, and I wanted you to correct me because it's like that. We're family. Venerable
Yes.
Tree Dao. He's a monk. He's a Buddhist monk. And we're gonna get all into this because y'all, when I tell you just whenever I feel a little stress and I do my EFT and I listen to my binaural beats, I put on his videos. And when I tell you his videos has me so calm. So let me tell you a little bit behind the story, right? I'm going to talk about this. Y'all know I like starting on time. Y'all know I like playing my intro music. And when that doesn't happen, it has me, I'm like wigging out. So today we were running a little bit behind. And would y'all know, I'm like, I was just telling him the timing, but I wasn't like, come on, come on, come on. I would have sent him like 50 million texts, right? And I'm just like, no, I got my Rico Suave on. I'm calm and cool. So I just wanted you to know that what happened behind the scene and how calming his presence make me. So without further ado, we have the one and only Venerable Tri Dao. Okay, so let's get into it. Dude, when I tell you, you have my utmost respect. I love what you're all about, what you're putting out into the universe, because right about now, as you know, the climate, this is what we're needing, right? And
Yes.
sometimes I say to myself, I'm too busy to meditate. I can't meditate. Right now, meditation is my life force. It's part of my life force. It's something that I need to do. So, can you please tell us briefly a little bit about yourself and who you are and things like that?
Yes. So first and foremost, I apologize for a couple minutes late. As everyone are aware, this is the month where I have to submit my book as I'm finishing it up. So of course, it's all over the place, just like the rest of all of our lives, all over the place. So my name is Venerable G Dao. I am a Theravadan Buddhist monk. I've been a monk now going on 8 years. It is November, so by January it will be on my eighth year. I hit rock bottom in 2015, and as a result, I chose this path, the path to peace. Had I not chosen this path, it would not have been well. Would have been probably dead or in prison or in the ER somewhere. And so therefore, I wanted to, I made myself available to the public in serving the people and telling them about my journey, and that it's working out. Is that you can in fact achieve peace no matter where you are in life, no matter if you hit rock bottom. The vicissitudes of life leads us to do a lot of foolish things, and that we are not at peace. And one has to look at the word peace and define peace for yourself, to prioritize it. Peace is free from disturbing emotions, and comes now. This month is the month of empowering women, and I couldn't be more happy that Jacqueline reached out, so that we can facilitate this conversation necessary to empower all of you women towards the path to peace.
And we first and again, thank you for being part of our village because as I say, if you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. So I thank you for being part of our village. And I think right now is when we really need this because you have the holidays and this is when self-harm is at its highest. And I want people to understand because I wanted to do that myself. So I understand what goes through people's minds. So with that said, can we talk about because there's so many tools that people can work with in order to find peace? My question to you is why is meditation so important? Because for me, being a type A person, I was all over the place. My mind was racing, and I'm like, how am I going to meditate? I'm trying to meditate in the very beginning, and I'm thinking about what I have to cook, what I'm doing next week. What meditation has done for me, it keeps me in the present. So why is it important that you think that we should all follow this, this life cycle, this journey of on meditation?
Hmm. So with the most recent research on JMA psychiatry, this article you can find on CNN because CNN first reported it. It is an empirical, peer-reviewed, evidence-based finding that med- mindfulness meditation, um, that meditation works as well as anxiety medication, Lexapro. So science is just now catching up to what the Buddha taught us 2,566 years ago. Um, and people, I hope that information such as this convinces people to come and try meditation because it literally changes your life. You change the way how you think, you change your life. The point of meditation is to calm your mind down. We have been conditioned for so long to be on this hamster wheel in society, to want more. And it's like, when is it ever going to stop? Until your body takes a hit, you're in the ER, you're exhausted, you wake up, you don't want to look forward to the day, you don't want to come home. There are so many things that affect the human condition in regards to well-being, psychological well-being, physical well-being. And what we teach is psychological training. Meditation is a form of psychological training to keep you in the present moment so that you can make better informed choices for you and your family. As we talk, this talk is for women. I've seen a lot of women all over the place. They are becoming more intelligent. They are making a lot of money. They are becoming CEOs. They're becoming leaders of our community. But they're also neglecting what's back most important at home, which is your man, girl, and yeah, and your children. And so they need to have you at home. And I've seen a lot of mistakes that women are making, and I'm questioning the quality of life. And what does that quality of life look for you? What is your middle way? And the Buddha just wants you to find your middle way. And that's exactly what we teach is the middle way by and through meditation, the cultivation of the heart. So you don't want to be too lazy, as I hold up both of my hands, and you don't want to go to the extreme where you are just exhausted, to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you don't want to do anything, or you're giving up and you're quitting, and all of the unwise, unintelligent choices. So meditation aims to, and you have to, I know that it is difficult, as you all see the romanticism of the word mindfulness, the romanticism of meditation of all different types, different traditions. And as you try it, it becomes difficult. And one of the key two things most prevalent in meditation is, number one, you got to cut back the drama in your life in order for you to create the causes and conditions for meditation to be a little easier, more conducive, so that you yield the greatest results, the higher results, bigger results out of it. The second thing is a good, qualifying, authentic, experienced teacher to meet you are where you're at in life. Come as you are, and we meet you where you are. So there's a lot of science behind it. Buddhism emphasizes a lot of science. It is the scientific study of the mind. In Theravada Buddhism, we emphasize a methodology, a scientific methodology in teaching you all how to achieve that peace, slowly, thoroughly, effectively, and efficiently. And so, and again, once again, if you are new to mindfulness meditation, all you have to do is put in benefits of meditation on Google, and you see the plethora, conglomerate, uh, 30 more plus empirical findings, how it lowers your blood pressure, increase focus, helps mitigate depression, anxiety. All of these things we're subject to from time to time. You won't be exempt from it. It's part of being human. Might as well use the best psychological tool the Buddha left us 2,566 years ago that has been working that long for everybody. Had it not worked, we wouldn't be here having this conversation.
And that's why I try to, when I'm talking to some of my friends who are new to it, I said, wait a minute, your doctor can write you a script. And I wish our physicians would write a script for, hey, go meditate, go to a meditation class as opposed to pharmaceutical medications. Because I know for me, I react differently when I'm meditating. It just does, it turns on the endorphins. I think better. I'm clearer. Because I'm a type A person, or was a type A person, where I'm talking to you and I'm texting and I'm on the phone doing 10 different things. For me, starting my journey through meditation, because I used to do it and I stopped, what I realized is I need to be present. I don't want to, when you call me a multitasker, you're cursing at me. So I choose not to multitask anymore. It's a bad word for me now. And when I find myself, oh, let me do this, I have to bring myself to the present, because I want to give you 100%, or wherever I am. I don't want to do the multitasking. And now I don't have to fight with myself not to do it anymore. It's coming natural. Even reacting to people who are idiots or say certain things, I don't have to show up for every fight anymore. I can just let things roll off my shoulder. So I'm starting to see a little bit, and I kind of don't recognize myself, because I'm calling myself at one point, Jackie, you're being a punk. They said this to you, and the inside voice. And I said, no, what's more important to me? What's more important? Peace. So peace is more important for me, because I don't have to show up for everything. And I love your practice and what you're doing. So how does one, first of all, you're doing this. How can people get in contact with you? Because I want them to know. I'm telling you, I'm co-signing him, y'all. I'm telling you, he is it. He is it. Okay, so how can they get in contact with you? Or if they're, if you have any classes or what, how can they get in contact with you?
So I make myself very available to the public. It's the first of its kind, where a monk, runs away from the forest and into the city, and makes himself available to serve the people, such as the Buddha have said, and he has done. So I'm on all of the platforms. You can even Google my name, Tri Dao Monk, Venerable Tri Dao, Instagram, YouTube. I've published my phone number on Facebook. I teach for free, and that is what's right about this tradition, is that we cannot charge money, and the only thing we can ask you for is a cup of water. So it ensures the integrity and purity of the monastic order and Buddhism as a whole. And it's so much joy in traveling the path with all of you, because what we're engaging in is what I call Buddhist psychotherapy, spiritual counseling. um I walk the path with people, and understanding where they're at, where they are today, where they're going, and who they want to go with. And I've got it down to a science after thousands and thousands of one-on-one sessions, most of them recorded on YouTube, a library of teachings on YouTube. So anyone that is curious about how it works, it's very straight to the point, fast. And I want to get people well and better within less than what therapy is describing. So it's a rapid realization program that preferably under 6 months. However, some cases may drag a little longer depending on the person's severity, depth, and magnitude of suffering in regards to trauma, depression, addiction, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar. And some of that also requires the assistance of a therapist. But we're going to use the best available science, world-class science, to treat the human as a whole from A to Z as much as we possibly can, as much as I possibly can. And you get me, you don't get my assistant. When you call and you text and you whatever the communication is, even though there is, all these social media numbers, I always get back within relatively 48 hours to people.
And he's telling the truth, because that's what he did with me. So for those of you who are tuning in, we have a Buddhist monk, Tri Dao, and I wanted to do this because of all shows that I do, all platforms and conversations, I love these kind of things. I love when we could speak about the mind, because I suffer or suffered from panic attacks and anxiety. And I'm noticing a lot of type A people are the same, because we're trying to do everything, not people please, but we're trying to control. That's the word, control a lot of things. So I wanted to have this, for our last show of November, we wanted to bring this in because the holidays are here. People may have family. We have these people who are imposters, where they're smiling on the outside and on the inside they're dying. They're slowly dying. So I want people to just have a conversation or join the conversation, and possibly join your courses, because I'm definitely going to do some things as well, some of your teachings, because I want to be the best version of myself. And I'm constantly, from acupuncture, I'm doing a lot of things with the Eastern medicine, always, from acupuncture, you name it, I do it, right? So my question to you, you said something, and I really appreciate you giving women their props, that we're CEOs, we're this, we're that. And you are so right. We're doing so much. And I'm always promoting, Chi Dao, I'm always promoting self-care. I call Sunday self-care Sundays, but we need to do more of it. So in today's society, in what you see, what are the recommendations that you can briefly give, that we can, let's say someone's watching now and they're like, I like what he's saying. What is the first 2 things that I can do to get in alignment with me, with myself?
Well, before we give you all recommendations, I want to comment what you said about being type A, and most women are. That's why they're rising in status and rising in income and across all measurements and rubric system. Is that number one, the fact that you're type A and the fact that you are who you are and you're doing what you're doing and you're multitasking gives rise to the magnitude of your intelligence. Very intelligent women. But with intelligence, the more intelligent you are, the more you tend to get yourselves into trouble.
Yes.
Because
yes.
We're so clever. We think we're so clever. And mind you, I used to be a CEO, and I have the same type A personality, on point, demanding, expectations, and so on and so on. Of course, not being put in check obviously led me to the path of peace. So we have to constantly adjust and reevaluate and revitalize and rejuvenate ourselves, and remind yourself that that's what's right about you, is that you are intelligent. You just have to know how to channel that intelligence the right way, towards the way that ensures the middle way, that you are taking care of yourself, your family, your community, and your job, and everyone that is around you, and not to let this intelligence steer you towards complete chaos. So again, women these days are very intelligent, and just being aware of that alone, remind yourself, I'm doing it again. I'm doing too much here. Why am I having anxiety attack, panic attacks? Why do I wake up and feel this way? It is a conversation that you must have with yourself. And in order to have this conversation, is that you keep a journal. Part of my program is keeping a journal, because if you're not seeing the problem, writing it down, daily, let's say you're only getting 5 hours of sleep, or you're sleeping too much. And if you're writing it down, dear journal, I woke up again at 1 p.m. today. I don't know what's happening. But if you write that 4 times a week, you're going to see it, because we are blind to ourselves and we are blind to the things that we do. So catching it is the first step. Additionally, you don't want to go too fast. The key principle in Buddhism is stopping. And oh, Jackie, your screen is okay. Now you're back. The key principle is stopping. That means slow down a little bit. It's not all that serious. We got to look at the science of our life, the details of your life. If you were to draw a big circle right now on a piece of paper, friends, family, social life, out for a drink, sleep, and so on. What is it that you can adjust in one day in regards to the effective, intelligent management of time? And so, you got to slow down a little bit and realize what is priority and what is not. our mind is always competing for priorities, and sometimes it actually misleads us, and that's where women get themselves into trouble. To answer your question now, what are other recommendations in regards to self-care is to, yoga. So Buddhism invites you to try other stuff, not just meditation, but you can also try other practices. I have found that yoga to be therapeutic and effective because it gets you moving. You got to remember that the car was a terrible invention because we don't really move a lot. We just get in the car, in and out of the car. So exercising and forms of sports, get moving. We want to fight obesity. We want to fight all of these things: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of these things that we're seeing in the medical books. Eating right and staying healthy. The other thing is to yoga, meditation, sports. I think that's. I just wanted to keep it there. I don't want people to go too much into things, because when you look at the details of meditation, look at how much I have already said of homework that you have to sit there and reflect and do. Nonetheless, giving you more, because if I give people more, they're going to run and they're going to keep running and they're not stopping.
That would be me.
And I chose.
Go ahead.
I chose to wear red today because it tells you slow down, stop, like a stop sign, So it reminds people to take it easy and go one thing at a time.
I have Miss Gloria said more self-care when I said what should we do. Miss Matthews said some of us are left no other choice. When we're alone, no one has our back. Self-protection, survival modes, reflectively kicks in. Miss Matthews, I'm going to put this out there, right? Because I was so busy, but I was busy running around in a circle. And we keep saying this, but I don't think some of us are really listening. We say it because it sounds cute and sounds sexy. Like when the plane goes down or something's going on the plane, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on first. And if you don't take care of yourself before you put up the child. Well, here's the thing. We have to find the time. And I'm going to say this, and I'm saying this with love. I strongly detest when I'm talking to a woman and she tells me she doesn't have time to take care of herself. You have to find the time, because this is what's going to happen. If you don't find the time is going to find you. Either you're going to pass out from exhaustion, or you're going to have a heart attack or a stroke. And I'm not speaking that into anyone. I'm just speaking facts. We must find the time, whether it's exercising. Now, and I'm saying that for myself, because he mentioned something, Tri Dao, you mentioned something which I used to love, but when I turned 40, I hated it. Journaling. I have like 50 journal books, but when I started journaling, I start to realize the things that I was doing, that, where I was wasting time or reflecting. And so it held me accountable. That's the word I wanted to use. It held me accountable. Let me read some more comments and then we can continue. Miss Matthews, thank you for joining in. And also Gloria. So Miss Matthews says, writing, journaling is very therapeutic. Truth. A 5th grade teacher told us it's the only way to really get to know yourself, and to read your journal on New Year's Eve, start a new one, 1-1. She also said red is the root chakra 2, and self-preservation, man's number 1 law, and she concurred. So I'm liking how she said red is the root chakra. Like how she said that. You gave us a lot to do, and I'm definitely going to take some of your course, because again, I just find you so soothing. I find you like when it's cold outside and you want a cup of cocoa and it keeps you warm and tingly inside. That's how I find you, because when I watch your platform and on YouTube, it's very soothing to the soul, and I can actually feel whatever is shaking on the inside, it calms down. Whatever it is, that is. So we talked about women. We talked about what you think we need to do. You know, obviously we need to, because again, I'm that person. If you tell me 50 things, I'm going to rush and do all 50 things, right? So I'm glad that you narrowed it down to what you did. What do you think in today's society? No, before I ask about today's society. So if President Biden saw you on this platform and said, Chi Dao, I love that interview. Here, I'm going to bestow $5 million to you. What, in order for you to help the country, what would be the two things you would do?
That's a funny one. That's because, see, research shows, not research, but articles show that last year we had 200,000 new millionaires, and we have also spent a record 100 billion was paid in life insurance benefits last year, and yet none of them reached my program. Not even close. 5 million is a lot of money, but when you look at these numbers, it's not a lot. But hey, I will work with 5 million like you gave. And right now, I have a lot of programs that is running. So my nature, scope, and practice was to reduce teen suicide and increase student resiliency in school. We have a lot of dropouts, especially male students versus female students. There's a lot of accumulated despair. We were looking at suicide rates due to accumulated despair long before COVID came along. So COVID done did a drastic magnitude. It's like decimation to our teens. Furthermore, I'm also training younger monks to do what I'm doing, because it takes a lot of time to cultivate the next generation of monks to be skillful enough to meet the complicated, complex modern day humans. Again, we have to meet the intelligent humans where they're at, and the more intelligent they are, the more they get themselves in all sorts of trouble. And we can't just use the teachings of the Buddha alone. We have to merge Western psychology, empirical evidence based, to meet them where they're at. So 5 million would help me establish the meditation center that I have been, talking about over the past God knows how long. My teachings have reached more than 100 million people worldwide, and still hasn't have a meditation center. This is a individualistic society where people are quite self-centered, and they don't know how to give, and they don't want to give, and I don't know what's going on. That's why I started out this conversation with 100 billion was paid for insurance, life insurance. That means they're inheriting all of this money. Where is it going? Well, obviously it's going to Rolls Royce and D-color diamonds, internally flawless D-color diamonds. And that's not, in Buddhism, we give more and we take less. And I am the example, primarily example about giving all. I gave my whole life. I am still giving my whole life to my mind, body, speech, for the benefit of humanity, like the Dalai Lama said. Because this yields the great true inner happiness, liberation, and freedom. The more you have, the more money you have, the more possessions you have, the more you have to guard that, the more you have something to lose. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to worry about. I want nothing. I owe nothing. So you have to really reflect on that. More money, more problems.
I was just going to say that. You know what? Here's the thing, and I so get you. I so get you, because I worked in corporate America and I was making that money, right? And it was like having the lifestyle, doing all those things. But man, was it stressing me out. And my body started breaking down because I kept chasing and the promotions and stuff. But the minute I walked away from it, a lot of my 9-to-5ers who were my counterparts or my colleagues, they left because they didn't understand, why would I do that? Give this up. This, I love having the human connection, speaking about how to get to a better place in life, speaking about the injustices that's going on. There, yes, you're making the money, you having the cars, you having the house, you having the palatial vacations, and you name it. But I was spiritually broken. I wasn't happy. Here, I am spiritually fit. I'm spending more time with the higher power, human connection with people, with people I would have never had connections with when I was in corporate America, because at some point you think you are, I'm going to say, better than some, right? And I just feel humbled. This transition has humbled me. And some people just don't know where I've been, but you don't need to know where I've been. You just need to know where I am right now. So I get you when you said that you have nothing to lose, and it is what it is. So many people are afraid to walk away. So many people just, it's the money, it's the money, it's the money. The less you have, you're right, the more you have to guard it, and the people around you. The less you have, it's either they want to be with you or not. When you have it, they want to be with you, and you have to figure out, do they want me or do they want it? Dude, I'm digging you.
Furthermore, to help people understand the magnitude of the necessary reparation, how we need to repair our society, is that you're never too small or insignificant to make a change in the world. And now we have, look, when you study what I study, which is pain and suffering in the world and in our society, we have people in positions of public trust that is now betraying that, because their minds is towards greed, anger, and ignorance. Where Buddhism thrives, our world will thrive. Where Buddhism flourish, our world community will flourish. We had a former judge that was engaging in prostitution in Polk County, Florida. We had a former Kansas detective that lunged at other Kansas police officers within the same department, try to grab their gun because he was fired and he found himself in trouble, try to grab their guns and do harm, and he was shot. And then most recently, we had a former police officer who tried to lure a young girl, and then I don't know what happened. It was crime of passion, and he killed their parents. So what that means is, and these three examples give rise to, again, even the top caliber people that we have trusted, but we see teachers, we see all sorts of people of occupations and in industries do these things. And it tells us the priority of Buddhism, that when we come together as a community to build meditation centers, a place of peace, a place where people can come and reflect and stop running away from themselves. These are behaviors that shows us that they're running away because they're in pain. They run away from the pain.
Yeah.
And again, when you see third world countries where there is a lot of monasteries like Thailand, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Vietnam, Korea, Japan, you see that they're very happy people and they have nothing. They are very poor, but they're so happy through inner peace, freedom, and liberation. So again, we need to really adopt that model and see how well it's working out for us, because America's civilization is so young, less than 300 years old, but yet the most unhappiest nation in the whole wide world. We
And
need
I'm
to ask
healthy.
ourselves, and unhealthy across all measures. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. You
And
know,
other thing I wanted to talk about, because you asked if Biden gave me 500 million, to date, 7 years as a monk, the amount of donations that came in is less than $7,000. That meant every year that I was a monk was $1,000 in donation. That meant I gave up my $100,000 job as an interpreter, serving all areas of law, serving all areas of medicine, to $1,000 donations a month that goes primarily to healthcare and co-pays and lab work to keep me alive. So I'm starting to think what's happening here, because I don't think Buddhism is going to thrive in the United States.
when you said that, it hit me because, and if you notice too, I've often wondered, because again, growing up in New York and doing a lot of stuff in the Asian community, like in Chinatown and things like that, I noticed that yoga and meditation were free. But then when you go across and with the in the United States with the Americans, they're charging this for yoga, they're charging that. And some of these people was just certification they got online. And it's no disrespect, but I never understood that. So I had a conversation with a young lady and she said, this is free. We're supposed to freely teach this. We're not supposed to accept payment. Now, if you want to donate, that's fine, but we're not asking you to donate. And I just noticed that across the board when I'm going places and how much they want for yoga, hot yoga, this yoga. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're making this into a moneyed thing, and that's not what it was meant for. And I'm speaking freely about it. And I have some of my yoga friends who are like really upset. They're traveling, they're doing retreats, they're going to India, they're going here, and you have to pay $5,000 on this retreat. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is screwed up for me. This is screwed up. It doesn't make sense to me because it's being taught and you're charging an excess amount of money. You've left your job. You're making more money doing this than your corporate job or whatever job you've left, speaking about that. And I'm like, going to Bali and all these places, and I just can't believe it. And I don't think a lot of people, Americans, understand that yoga and meditation should be free. They're spending tons and wads of money where that money could be going into people like you who, and I'm just putting it out there. This is not you saying it, and I'm going to say it. People like yourself who are helping the betterment of people, not taking anything away from them, but these people that's why it needs to be a collaboration. People need to find you. And if they're charging for one thing, a donation should be going to you as well. Like you're their person that they can donate a proceed to. We're going to have to talk when you finish this book. We're going to have to talk because we got to change this $7,000 a year. And I'm the person who can change it. We got to change that. But
it's okay. I don't really expect much. Again, I did this because I want to, and I don't really, because I made myself, because I'm seeing the magnitude of suffering so much. I started to establish these programs. And of course, it just takes resources to run the programs. We have to work with what we.
Because if you get more resources, you can train more people, and more people will be impacted. That's where I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about paying your bills. Of course, you have to pay where you are, but I'm thinking more people could be trained. Then you can have more programs, one in every state. At least 5 states starting off with. That's what I'm thinking. And that's where the resources, that's where the money comes in, So, and of lately, you're right. It's such a me society because like I'll get things and I don't keep it to myself. I'll share it. And then I'll have people say, well, why are you doing this? You're stupid. You should just keep it to yourself. That's not how when that light switched, the light switched to tell me that I need to share. Don't keep everything to myself. That's what you're supposed to. And I see that's what you're doing. I didn't want to keep you long today, and I can keep you on forever, ever, because I love everything that you're speaking. Because when I tell you, very few people speak to my soul. You speak to my soul. It's like Tony Robbins has this thing about awaken the giant within. That's what I feel that you're doing for me, because everything you're saying just makes sense. And I want people to, out there, all you women, please find time to meditate. Go on his page, see what he's doing. He's having courses and classes. He's not charging anything, but a donation would help. This is me speaking. It's not coming from him. A donation would help, because especially if you're not going to donate in the beginning, but once you've graduated and you feel different, you see the difference, give back. It's called paying it forward or paying it backwards. That's what I want people to do. So, it's just been an illuminating conversation. I know you're working on your book. We're going to bring him back on when his book is completed, and we're going to have a longer conversation. Mrs. Matthews said recently she's seen an old episode of Heart to Heart where the Hotoi, Hotei, was mentioned. Hope she spelt it correctly. Is it Hotep you meant to type in? I don't know. I think it has something to do with the nation culture, probably a way of they praying or something like that. So let me ask you a question. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. I wanted to, because you're encouraging them to meditate, the best way I know, number one, women have a very large social circle, and of course, women have the women talk, right? Which is, hey, girl, let me tell you about my day. Let me tell you about who I'm dating. Let me tell you about what's going on. Let me tell you about my stress and struggles and family and all this other stuff. Now, the best way to inspire your friend is buying through your own change.
Yes.
And I what I get a kick out of is when you graduate the program and you go out and you inspire these people, because there's nothing more frustrating than hearing your friends complain over and over again and you are powerless to help them change, or you've been recommending all over again and they're still doing the same thing over and over again. It's frustrating for everybody. It raises your blood pressure on both sides of the table. So therefore, women have the big social circle, and you all should hold yourselves to a higher standards, inspired by and through your own change. And when you meditate, other people are going to be like, "Girl, something about you. Something about you walking in this room different," and you will light up like a Christmas tree. And there's something about you, very enlightening about you, that they're going to be like, now, Jacqueline, we have been watching you for a month now, and what is now your secret? What is your new secret that you have been doing that we don't know about, that have led you to this one bright big smile that is so infectious in this room? And that is my joy. My joy is not from the donations. My joy is when you come back and you tell me, Venerable, I inspired my whole group, and we're all now know exactly what you talk about. When once have once you have tasted that piece and your group, you all will operate very differently.
Well, Venerable, I'm definitely going to join it because for me, one of the reasons why I need to join it is because I'm an empath and I pick up people's energy and it drains the heck out of me sometimes, majority of the times. But when I meditate, it kind of recalibrates. Ooh, look at me, y'all. I learned a big word. I said a big word. It recalibrates me and it centers me. Because before I would be exhausted. I could sleep for days. I don't want to get up. I'm exhausted. And meditation has kind of flipped the switch and helped me. And that's why I need that second, that form of meditation. Miss Matthew said, so true. She said I've been to a Buddhist temple in Georgia. I know which one you've been to, and she had a good time. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. And she said it's so true. Energy, ENERG, doesn't LIE. She is so good with these things when she types her stuff. So Venerable, I'm gonna definitely go on your page because what I want to be an advocate for you. I'm gonna join the program because I'll just figure out when it's gonna start. I don't know if it starts monthly or however it's, but I'm gonna go on the page and because I want to see a different me. I think I'm a great person now, but I want to be a better person because good, better, best, and you can always improve, and that's what I'm looking to do. But we want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy Network. We have Venerable Chi Dong. Okay, he's a monk, and when I say Chi Dao, I keep calling him Chi Dao, and I just love it, Chi Dao. And he has been just a very influential person. I've just known him for a couple of days. And again, you can probably call the police right now and take off Venerable. You can call the cops right now and take off the stalker alert because that would be me. That's me on all your pages. That's me looking through the window. That's me stalking you because you are just one of the best people I've known. Hey, talk about your book, the name of your book, and talk about that for a minute. So when we bring you back on, we can pick up from there.
The book is tentatively called Buddhism Now, and it takes the immediate teachings of the Buddha to treat the modern day stressed human. It was originally supposed to be clinical Buddhism, but when we put the word clinical in there, it's going to be 1,000-page book instead of a 200-300-page book. But there's more books to come because I enjoy it so very much. And so the title may change, but right now that's what it stands as. It will be available on or about October of next year because they have to do all of their stuff. It's going to be in Barnes and Nobles, and I'm going to do book signing clubs and everything like that. The fundings from the book will go directly to the aforementioned programs, training other monastics, supporting other monastics in third world countries. I don't even have a laptop to study the teachings and all of my cognitive behavioral therapy programs. And Some of the fundings will go here to local students that everyone has been witnessing, watching my journey on YouTube. The classes that I have been teaching, just the magnitude of students that I'm leading towards the path to peace, to steer them away from suicide and to increase their resiliency to stay in school and be a productive member of society. Um, our jails is getting bigger across all of the states, and that is not a good thing. We have to intervene as much as we can. Now, I can't change the whole world, but I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm sure going to make a mark on this planet as long as I live. And furthermore, right now, my rapid realization program is a self-directed study. What that means is that you and anyone else that contact me, you will be given the cognitive behavioral therapy book. It is a weekly thing where you check in with me. You try to finish 2 chapters per week, and you keep a journal. And again, this is a very tailored program per student. Formerly, I had the Discord server, well, a large class of 500 that was going through it with me. But due to competing priorities that is to come next year, I will be holding retreats. So everyone's just going to have to kind of wait a little bit for announcements that will be broadcasted across my social media platforms. But just save up. You save up when these exciting events come, because it's going to, you're going to have to buy the plane ticket and all of that. And I don't charge a dime. And I'm going to be inviting other venerables to join me. So it's going to be a very big ordeal in using the best science in mindfulness and psychology, so that you get well and better and come back as a more effective and efficient woman the world has ever seen. The world has ever seen. And that is my motto. And when you said good, better, best, that is actually the quote or poem that in elementary school I paid attention to. It was this poem that said, good, better, best, never let it rest until your good is better and better is best. And all you women out there, I am rooting, and I am all for you. We have TED Talks that is now women. We have women in Buddhism. We have Buddhist nuns. I am trying to revive a old order called the Bhikkhuni order. So it is a lot of justice and equality for women. As long as I live, I will always stand up for all of you and for the right thing, because you deserve to be happy. You do not deserve to be oppressed and suppressed by society elsewhere in the world. As long as I live, they're going to have to go through me before they go through you. I guarantee you that. So it is a definite statement from a monk who is not going to back down, because the Buddha, wanted equality and justice for people, and he too got political. So make no mistake that I will not go into that realm as someone who came from the justice system to root for all of you. So you all do your best, and I will do my best as I can. And with the help of Miss Jacqueline here, we are going to collaborate and have further discussions on the road. And I'm super excited. And my blessings and encouragement to all of you across the world as you're watching this. The fact that you're watching this alone leads you closer to enlightenment, because you're already searching for it. You're already wanting it. You want to change. You know that I need to adopt a better and new way. And previously, Miss Matthew wrote that, no one's got our back. And today, Miss Matthew, you realize that there's a monk in Florida named Tri Dao that has your back. You, and amongst all of your sisters across the world, I have your back.
See, and Miss Matthews told me to ask you, please ask him if he's familiar with 10 days of silence retreats with monks.
I did a whole year of silent retreat myself, and I have 21 years of meditation, and that is exactly what you felt, Miss Jacqueline, when you saw me, even though we started out frantically trying to get all these cameras up. Is after 21 years, when you walk into the room, and we haven't even seen each other in person, you're just feeling this energy through the screen. And it was exactly that through TikTok that 1.3 million people felt. You can't fool 1.3 million people because I read a bunch of books and sit here and put orange bed sheets on and said, yeah, by the way, mindfulness is great, you should follow me. No, don't work that way.
You did the
20 years of practice, 20 years of study.
In August, we're gonna definitely, because like I said, I'm gonna join the program, and we're gonna definitely stay connected, because around August I want to see how I can get you for the book signing to come down here, gather all the resources. They can fly you down. You get to stay someplace, and then you can do the book signing. So so definitely contact me, around August. But we'll be talking in interim because I need to start writing down names of people who could possibly make this happen. Miss Matthews says, I
Right.
want to do 10 days of silence. Here it's vegan, beautiful. I don't know what that means. Um, I'm
Mm.
vegan. I don't know. Vegan, beautiful. I don't know what that means. But so Miss Matthews, I'll get you connected with him as well. And I'm sure if you're in Georgia, you will see him. Yeah. Okay. So she's not in Atlanta anymore. But hopefully, when he does the book signing, he's going to be all over the place. Okay. So wherever you are, hopefully we can get him there. But I definitely want to bring him to Atlanta. So we want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy Network. Again, if you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Sharing is caring. Share with a friend, share with a family. And again, today is Motivational Monday, manifesting Monday. Show up the best version of yourself. If you can't do anything else, show up as the best version of yourself. For me, I know now I'm going to be a better person because I'm going to take the program. And y'all know when I love something, I scream it, I scream down the rooftops, and I know I'm going to love this program. But I don't want to keep him any longer because he's been editing, writing, and doing all those things for his book. I need to replenish. I don't want to keep taking out of his cup. I need to replenish his cup. So we'll have him back on again. And I won't even bother you tonight because you're doing what you're doing. So I'll send an email, and whenever you're free, you just send me the link on whatever it is I need to do, and I will be doing it. And I'll probably be journaling and sharing that. Probably no, I think I should do that every day and share that on social media so they can see how it works, right? So without further ado, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Make sure you're eating well, make sure you're speaking well, and most importantly, self-care is very important. Bye, everyone.
Uh,
Go ahead. You
Thank
going to
you,
say
Miss Jack.
something? You wanted to say
Yeah,
something?
sure. No, yeah. Never think that, because you're. I know you're very considerate of my time, but never ever think that I am too busy for you and for all women, for all humans on the planet. Never. Just exactly how I got to you within 48 hours is exactly how I treat every single human. They're equally important, and I will drop everything. That's why I am 6 days late on this book, and I really don't care. I'll ask for another extension because it is the priority of humanity that I stand for. So no matter if you're suffering anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar, whatever the case may be, and you want to get well and better, and you say, you know what, I don't know anything anymore. I want to learn something new, and this is the guy that I choose to lead me. I will drop my whole life for you because I will make you feel that you are the most important thing in my life right now. Matter of fact, Miss Jacqueline, I was prepared to sit here for 3 hours maximum for you. So you gather questions as it will come to your page and YouTube, and I will, as you get these questions in, we'll address it next time to people. But make no
Yeah, we can
mistakes.
do a
I mean, we
Q&A.
can have more conversations to come. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do Q&A, but like I said, I'm definitely going to do that, your program. I will contact you tomorrow. I'll send an email tonight and contact you tomorrow, because again, I don't want to take from your cup, and I appreciate you standing up for women and being a protector of all women. I love that. So again, everyone, I told y'all what did I tell y'all? Didn't I tell y'all he was good? Every time I tell y'all about someone, at first y'all a little skeptical, but then y'all like, oh, we see why they're on this show. Y'all got to, I'm like the Midas touch. Okay. When I say I'm EFF, when I say it's so, it is so. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
You